Hello, Markee Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and today I got another great question, and this question comes from Jordan M. And he says that he is wanting to get into a business venture that involves the secondary market. And what he means by that is stuff that like buys, sells, and trades currency in violation of the terms of service of video games. And so whatever game it is he's talking about, which he hasn't said, this is what he wants to do. And he says that what he wants to do is just run the website. He doesn't want to actually be involved in creating any of the items or gathering them in game or handling them at all to deliver in game and stuff. And so instead he would just facilitate it. And wants to know what exposure he has. Will he still be breaking the terms of service? Because technically you aren't using their service, you know, you're just working with people who are. And could he be sued? Well, let me say that I'll bet that the game that you're wanting to do this with is a game that you're passionate about. And because if you're not passionate about the game, then this project is not going to get very far now, is it? Because you lose your excitement for it and everything. Because just doing the transactions is not the whole excitement. It's like somebody saying, okay, I'm going to go out and be a millionaire. Okay, so, you know, the desire to go be a millionaire is not the actual thing that money may drive you, but it is not what will propel you forward. And so to propel you forward, you need to actually have something that you have a passion for and everything, and it happens to create, it happens to then, you know, spawn business stuff and everything. And so I suspect that you are playing this game that you're referring to, and that's a very big point in this, because if you are playing the game, you are breaking the terms of service by offering this service. And if you are not playing the game, and I'm no lawyer here, so what I'm telling you here is not something you can take as law, or that and every country is different on how they see these things. And so, you know, you can't take what I say as law. This is just my opinion. And so the fact that you're wanting to do this, now, when I was involved with the glider case, Mercury, you know, he had an account in game, but they also got him for, I think it's pronounced tortoise interference. And it is where basically he's facilitating or creating an environment where other people are allowed, you know, it assists other people in abusing the terms of service of the game. And so, you know, you think about this with a bot, that that the bot maker may not have any vested interest in the game, but they're interested in automation. Let's say that that's their passion, is automation. But they happen to have to do it with the games. And I can tell you that Blizzard has successfully taken on a few companies, and so has RuneScape or Jagex, and thwarting them from doing these things. Now, I don't know whether or not it caused Mercury to go bankrupt or whatever, but I can tell you that he's had to spend an enormous amount of money. I mean, maybe more money than some of you will ever earn in your life to defend himself. And so, you know, that right there, I mean, anybody can bring a lawsuit against you for anything, and you're required to defend yourself, otherwise you instantly lose. That's one of the really horrible things about our justice system here in the United States, is that if I were to get sued, I have to come up with the money to pay for lawyers to defend myself. Otherwise, they get a default judgment against me and they win. And then they get this judgment against me, and then I owe them all this money for whatever it is that they were suing me for. It doesn't matter maybe what they were suing me for. So it's kind of a rough place to be in. It will cost you money. It will cause you harm, no matter whether they are right or wrong. So I have another example of this. Now, you guys know that I've been a bad boy in this industry before, and back in the day, it was probably, around the year 2001 or so, somewhere between 99 and 2001. And the game was Ultima Online. And what I did was, I got really fed up with some of the bugs in the game. Really fed up. And I knew that there was like Dr. Twister. You remember Dr. Twister? Oh my God. He had this whole website that was dedicated to just posting all the bugs in Ultima Online. And it was a pretty spiffy site, I'll say. It was pretty exciting to see all those bugs posted there all the time, and they did all kinds of things to stop him. I don't think that they even knew who he was, though, to sue him or anything, or whether or not that actually was something that could be sued, because all he was doing was putting information that was true out there on the web. But if they ever found his account, they would have banned it. But anyway, I got this. I had this site called UO Hospital, and its tagline was "To cure your exploit ills." And we had a lot of people on that site, and there was a lot of news reporters. We were all this was back in the day where news sites were really big, and we did a lot of stuff about in a theme that, okay, here's this exploit, and we kind of have to describe it in order to show you how to protect yourself from it. And anything that couldn't be protected against, we didn't post, for the most part. I broke that rule once. And so, we were posting these things that were exploits in the game, but we were showing exactly how to make it so that you didn't, you could protect yourself against them. And some of these things, like example, were how the L series houses, they were a two-story house. They had this landing way in their house that was kind of interesting because it was the same height as a ship plank. And so what would happen is that if this house was next to water, then a ship would pull up, drop their plank out, and land it right inside their landing. Now, they'd end up walking through a wall to get into their house, but the game mechanics allowed that. And so one of our fixes for that was that we would told people to take a water barrel and then fill it with water, and once you filled it with water, it wouldn't decay away, and place it there on the stairway, and that would stop them from dropping a plank there. Well, so we put stuff up like that, and then they would get those things fixed, and then we would mark them as fixed. And so it was kind of a news site, but it was also a help site. But then I got really upset about gold duping, and there was no defense against it because it wasn't an action in the game that hurt any specific person. It just hurt the entire game, and so there was no action that an individual could take to defend themselves against that one thing. And so I ended up posting about how this exploit was done because they weren't fixing it fast enough, in my opinion. And we had always turned stuff over to them and everything, and they weren't fixing it fast enough. Well, here's what happened. We all got banned. All of us got our accounts banned that were posting news on the site. They figured out who each one of us was, and they banned all of us. And so even though we weren't doing these things in the game, we were doing them outside of the game, it had in-game consequences for us to where they banned us from the game. So my advice to you is that I know that people out there will do these kind of things, these sites and everything, but I think the heyday of those are over. I don't understand, I don't know how money would be made from those these days. And the way that information transfers between people, how back 10 years ago, when those things were really popular, or 12 years ago, or 15 years ago, however old UO is now, we didn't have the same kind of communication methods, rapid, massive communication methods that we have nowadays, called the internet. I mean, we had internet, but it was really kind of funny, because in those beginning days, the UO was actually classified as a graphical internet chat room on some places that were talking about different software. And it was because nobody knew how to do these things, and we all communicated through ICQ, and there was no way of really doing big massive groups in ICQ, or we did it in forums. And so you'd make a forum post, and then a whole bunch of people would read that and respond. And for the instant messaging, I couldn't just blast out to all my friends in chat or whatever. We could have like 3 or 4 people in chat, something like that, not a whole group of people. And nowadays we have Facebook, and we have text messaging, which I think we had back then, but it wasn't nearly the same as it is now. We have all of these other communication methods, and all the voice stuff and everything that we didn't have back then. And so when an exploit comes out, it gets talked about a lot. In fact, Crip just got banned from Guild Wars 2 because he was showing on Twitch a method that he had learned of trading karma for gold, or it was kind of a roundabout exchange all the way around, but he got banned for that. And they were watching him on his channel, as well as a couple of other 1,000 people were watching him live. And he got banned while he was live. Can you imagine the guys at ArenaNet? They're like, "Oh, everybody come here. He's broadcasting live, and watch while I pull the plug on him. Watch the reaction on his face." I bet you they were really hooting and hollering. But nonetheless. So it's a different ball game these days, and I'm not sure how you would make money from it. So, and in my opinion, if you're going to do something like that, you either do it for the passion or you do it for a living. And when you do it for a living, you do it because you're passionate about it. So those things are required. I hope that answers your question. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, feel free to send me a private message on YouTube with any questions that you may have. We do read all of them. I have no ability to answer all of them because I just get so many messages, and we try and take the best ones out. And if yours is really good, I will put it here as an episode on my YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.